for mandible. We talked about a moment ago. And let's go ahead and start with the normal PA body position and turning the head. Now here's our problem. See how the patient has to torque themselves? They got to bend and shift and everything like that to get the mandible close and parallel to the image receptor. I want the rami for the regular lateral, axiolateral oblique. I want the rami parallel. The face, for all intents and purposes, in a true lateral with an extended neck to get the mandible, get the rami away from the cervical spine. Everybody see this so far? Now here's where our problem comes in. The book says that it's a 25-degree tube angle. So let's put that 25-degree tube angle back in there. Line this bad boy up, and remember, you're supposed to be going in at the mandible, the side of the mandible closest to the image receptor. And you see that the shadow for his shoulder, see where my hand, see the shadow of my hand? Right here, you see the shadow of my hand. See that moving? Mm-hmm. And that's in the way of his mandible. You can't see his mandible for his shoulder. It does not work.
Or you could put the same background as yours to put it shoulder down.
Okay, hang on a second. No, so what we're going to do is we're going to allow him to move his head. Okay? Now, as much as you move his head is the number of degrees of tube angle you can release. Right? So if his head is like this, and I've got a 25, if I bring his head 10 degrees in, I can take 10 degrees off of the tube angle. Everybody got that? And that relieves this shadow. Now, the shoulder is not in the way. There is his mandible there. This is what we want. The shoulder is no longer an issue. See that? Okay? So, crank his head in, let his head go in, and release as much angle from the tube as you put in on the head. So you go from this to this, and you pattern it. Okay? So that's for the rami. Now we go, you want the body, now we're going to make the body parallel to the image receptor. So you turn the face 30 degrees. And that puts the body parallel. And again, here we go. No shadows. And the beam going in here. Not where the book says. The book says on the outer mandible. We want the mandible closest to the image receptor. That's where the crosshair goes. In through here. Right? And then we're going to go for the symphysis. So 45 to head, 45 to head. 45 degree head rotation. And beam going in. There's a crosshair right there. And the beam going in right here. Okay? Parallel, 30 and 45. Okay? Pure, straight, tube angle, 25, but the book even touts angling the head. The degree of angle that you put on the head is the degree of angle you release from the tube. Got it? Because if you don't do that head angle and release of the angle on the tube, you're going to have shoulder in there. It ain't going to work. It just is not going to work. Okay? Now, what the book showed you was the AP position version of this.
You want it back?
Okay? And that automatically will put the patient's head tilted, and that helps you in that regard. Okay? And that works out fairly well for the Ramus and depending on the patient's mobility, for the now the body, okay? And notice the shoulder is completely a non-issue here. There is absolutely no shoulder shadow. There is absolutely no shoulder shadow whatsoever here. Okay? But it's hard for the patient to get their head around for the body. This is good for Ramus, but for the body, yeah, it's kind of tough on the patient. Okay?
Okay lah.